Hello, everyone. If you're watching this, it is currently Independence Day. I'm still at my father's place. So I'll be back next week. And there's not the initial plan to have this movie, but either way, I think it'd be interesting to talk about. And this is also another indication why it's not like a first thing thoughts video, because I have seen this movie before. Just been a while since I watched it all the way through. So let's talk about 1987's G.I. Joe, the movie. Directed by Don Jurwich, and starring the bulk of the TV series cast. This film is feature length, acting as a bridge between like the original run of the cartoon from 1983 and the subsequent and second running in the years after its release in 1987, and was originally intended as a theatrical release, but after the underperformance of the Transformers movie and the My Little Pony movie the previous year, it went direct to video as well as being broadcast in syndication on TV. And the plot concerns the original leaders of Cobra taking over the operation and seeking to turn everyone on the globe into their own personal vipers. They are Serpentor, as well as their chief scientist Globulus. And on top of the movie having a lot of overlap with the cast of like the Transformers TV show at the time, it of course had its own handful of celebrity voice actors in supporting roles. You had Burgess Meredith as Globulus, of course. Don Fuzzy Johnson as Lieutenant Falcon, and leader of a new team of Joes known as the Rawhides, and Sergeant Slaughter of the WWF, so WWE was known at the time as, well, Sergeant Slaughter. Who else? Admittedly, while the G.I. Joe films have not been the most successful theatrically, it is inherently clear to me that still command a sizable fan base, and Hasbro still sees the IP as valuable. They're still developing the Transformers crossover as well as the third main film Ever Vigilance. However, I would say that out of the ones seen released so far, this is likely the best one. And one of the things that actually pleasantly surprised me the most when I was younger when I saw this is actually how dark it was. I'm not saying it gets as heavy as E6 Transformers movie, but it definitely does show that at its core it is still a story about war, and that sometimes when you go out to fight, you don't always come back, and if you do, it's not always one piece. I mean, granted, they were originally going to kill Duke off, but after the blowback to what happened to Optimus Prime the year prior, they still rendered him comatose, unlike covering by the film's denouement. But still, other characters end up getting, like Roadblock ends up getting blinded for a sizable chunk of the movie. There's also, even though they still have like the quasi Star Wars laser guns, you see a lot more large scale destruction, and you see characters have blood drawn, bones being broken, and I'd say that it's obviously not on the same level as like Resolute was, which is another one I really like. I'll talk about another time, but it definitely is kind of like a more family version of a lot of the same films that starred Stallone, Schwarzenegger, JCVD in that time frame. Again, I wasn't alive when this movie came out, but when you're renting stuff from a library, and dealing with an environment that was nothing but desert in every direction, gotta make do what you got for entertainment. And I must say, I actually really like how they approach matters, and especially in regards to Falcon, who, if and using the other Transformers analogies, given how they're both made by the same company, if Duke is like our Optimus here, then imagine in Falcon's like a hot rod, like a younger, less experienced and soldier who ends up getting his mentor and commanding officer mortally wounded, and spends the rest of the film trying to atone for that and prove himself as a fighter. And even so, there are a lot of scenes that are me, both in respect of a kid and the respect of me talking about this now. I especially like the whole part near the beginning when Serpentor comes back to control the operation and the other members of Cobra systematically throw their commander under the bus one by one, so to speak, like pointing out how how he has a nasty habit of retreating even though they have the upper hand, Bane. And so, and with that in mind, and I also kind of agree that even like just like the opening sequence on its own, which takes up the first 3 minutes of the film's runtime and the full version of the theme song, definitely has some of the best animation to date, and even was included on its own as an extra on Complete Series Blu-ray. And knowing the stories about how that song was pitched, I will gotta say this: best bathroom pitch ever. Found something interesting that also a lot of supporting voice casts has other connections as well. I mean, we've got Loey Faso, who has Tunnel Rat, who has never been my favorite character by any means. He's really one that really depends how you use him. But he would go on to portray Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze a few years later. Here, even use the same Brooklyn attitude as well. And I gotta say, if you're looking to spend 90-ish minutes with a ideal blend of patriotic fervor and brand synergy, then this is definitely your movie. And it will likely not be the last time I talk about it either, and it's not even going to be the only movie from the 80s I'll be addressing this month. I mean, especially what I alluded to earlier this summer. Yeah. Anyway, that'll be all for now, and I wish you all a pleasant rest of your 4th of July. So, yo, Joe. Mm-hmm.